All right, I believe we're live. Yep, we're 1 second in. Everybody, Todd Schroth here, Donna Stott and Josh monitor our Facebook. Kind of Donna's back support to make sure everything is being done right. I appreciate that, Josh. I wish I had someone in the background live with us to make sure we do things right. I have my VA doing that for me, sending me little messages. Hey, if it's not working or this happening, Rachel in the other room when we have technical difficulties. Hey, get in here. But everyone, thanks for coming today. If you have not already liked, subscribed, check out our Facebook page, Agents Who Win. Like us on or subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at Agents Who Win as well, _Agents Who Win, because someone hacked our previous page. We're rebuilding that Instagram following. So, Donna, thank you for being here today. Those of you who don't know, I've got a couple of coaches I work with. Donna, I've been with for about 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, it's about 9 years. I looked it up, 2011.
Yeah. I mean, I was just an agent with an assistant taking over a business, trying to figure out how to scale. And because we ended up taking over a couple's business, which we were just talking about. And really it was like, how do you take it to the next level? And so from your advice and Mike's advice, it was like, let's do the following. And here we are 9 years later. I've got a team of 10 people with myself. And, have doubled our business every year. And we've plateaued around that 100 to 120 deals a year.
Which is a sweet place to be.
Yep, it is. And it's, I've been able to step back a lot to learn how to put the right administrative support in place with the direction of what, learning how to track numbers from, you telling me every week, hey, where are we at? What are we doing? So I was excited to, have you on the show as an opportunity to kind of show agents, why coaching? Because coaching, I mean, it's like kids in sports or, kids that are baseball player or not kids, but adults that have sports people that have coaches and guiding them in the certain directions of their life. And my kids the other day were like, this is probably a year or so ago, but why do you have a coach when you're in business? And I said, look at Jetter or any of the other guys that are successful what they're doing. They have someone who's going to train them specifically on the right pitch, the right hit, anything. And so, where you're coming in and showing us what to do in those right areas of our life and business. And the thing I liked about your coaching company was it's not how many calls you're making today. It's mindset, It's calls, it's, the business, the connections we've made and the friends we've made to help with our business. So I've got, Connie and Chris and a lot of the others that, we've become good friends over the last 8 or 10 years.
We're going to talk a little bit about that, the peers that are created when you're in the right coaching. Yeah, and this is not only, Todd, about getting coaching. Today, we're going to be talking about coaching you give, because as a real estate agent, you are coaching people, aren't you?
Yes, you are. You're coaching them through the listing. You're coaching them through the buying process, all the way around.
Right. And so we're talking about profitability. Is it my time to jump in?
Go ahead. Yep. I got a long intro I could talk on forever about. I mean, hell, we have 9 years of experience together. So go on and on about that.
And your success is testament all in and of itself. And thank you guys that are making comments about working with me presently or in the past as well. My average client actually has been with me over 7 years and earns over $400,000 a year. So that's a huge testament in and of itself. And I couldn't tell you anything more important than that. They're experiencing the success that they want. So we want everything in our lives to be more profitable. And you're probably here because you want to get more from the coaching in your life, whether it's the coaching you're giving or the coaching that you're providing to others, right? So I think when Todd came to work with me, he said, I'm looking for more focus. I'm looking for more systems. I'm looking for clarity. I'm looking for more ease, right? Because I was spending a lot of time and not making as much progress. And one thing that we're all looking for is profit. And hopefully you're here today because you're looking for profit. And then the last thing you may be looking for if you're attending this today or watching it on video is you're looking for a little more of that feeling that comes from truly enjoying the blessing that your work is in your life journey, because this is a blessing. This career is a blessing. It is the best kept secret, in my opinion. Where else do we get to really, truly help people with one of the most important things in their life? either their investments or their home and get paid phenomenally to do so. Think about it. I mean, we could help people in counseling, we could help people in social work, but how's the pay?
Right, exactly.
Right? So we really have a blessing and an honor in this business. So I wanted to start with, what is a coach? What is a coach? Because we're talking about coaching and profitability. So let's talk about a coach. A coach is someone who sees people on a hero's journey with important things to contribute to the world. That's how they see people. With all the obstacles, those journeys and the breakthroughs and the adventures and successes and the starts and the stops and the changes and the plans, all the things that great journeys have. And a coach also is somebody who helps discover what is meaningful and purposeful in people's lives. And for us specifically today, we're talking about real estate agents' lives or buyers and sellers' lives, right? We need to understand clearly. A coach helps people see clearly their life's intentions. Remember when we did your life's intentions inventory exercise?
Yep, that was a little process to go through. I didn't understand it at first, and once we got through it, it was like, wow, it's actually enlightening when you do the exercises like that.
Well, everything that you do in life is either moving you towards your life's intentions or getting in the way, right? So that process is very important. A coach is also going to help you discover your core strengths. And if you remember, Todd, we thought maybe your core strength might be cold calling, and then it wasn't. Right? So we look at what is your core strength and what are your values, and we learn how to use those strengths and values to maximize your success rather than cram down something that may have worked for somebody else. Right? And I think that's what you're alluding to, is we're not just saying you need to call, you need to call, you need to call. It depends on the person. They may need to call. Somebody else may need to get out and meet people face to face. Somebody else may need to just Instagram. Somebody else may, right? So we look at what are your strengths and what is your ideal client, where those people hang out. A coach is someone who helps others create goals worth playing for. That's what a goal is. It's probably not a definition most of your listeners have heard before. A goal is an object or area towards which play is directed in order to score. That's what a goal is. Right. And we look at the small, sweet steps it takes to get there and provide some accountability to do the things that people promise to do, right? And lastly, a coach is somebody who helps others reach those important goals with clarity, focus, ease, and grace, and create new goals for their life's journeys. So think about that in terms of the coaching that you have got in the past and the coaching that you're providing to others, because think about providing these things to your sellers and buyers, for example. So, maybe think about who's coached you in the past or now, and what is the benefit you got or am getting from your coaching.
So Donna, we've got a comment here from Josh. How does everyone currently receive coaching, and how are you a coach for others? So kind of, I think would tie into this. Do you want to dive into that comment real quick?
Can you read it again?
How does everyone currently receive coaching? But more, I think I like the part of this question. How are you a coach for others?
Yeah, you become, first of all, you can become a coach for others in many ways. Now to actually be a coach and to use tools with people, you don't want to do this necessarily with your friends and family, right? And that's not that, but people who give you permission to coach them, which is if a seller hires you to list and sell their property, are they hiring you to coach them through that process?
Right.
Absolutely. If you hire a buyer's agent to work for you, are they hiring you to coach them through that process of being a successful buyer's agent? Right? So we're out there coaching people. I think one of the biggest coaching we need to be doing right now is coaching buyers on how to buy houses.
Right.
Because how many people out there are making offers and not getting offers through?
They're not being coached the right way to write that.
They're not being coached the right way. Exactly. If we coach the buyers properly, we would have a lot more success. So that's just on a side note. I'm working on a new buyers course that I'm going to be only offering by recording. So if anybody wants to look at how do I coach my buyers to success,
right.
that's something to be. Did that answer that question?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it did. And we'll dive into more on a reply.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So in looking at who coached you in the past, you may look at an old teacher or maybe somebody like Fred Rogers or a YCM coach or your broker owner. And you want to look at what is it that you're getting and get clearly. This is just a couple examples. Maybe the coach saw your unlimited potential, saw that you could do more. Maybe somebody coached you in kindness and gentleness. Mike spent last year with Fred Rogers the entire year, being coached in kindness and gentleness. Kept reminding my goal and my plan to get there despite stuff that came up. And I doubled my business in 3 years. Got me past what I saw as limits. And I did more than I ever imagined in terms of income and life experiences. So those are just a couple of examples. And one more thought before we go into the 5 reasons, Todd. I really want you to be thinking about, who am I coaching and what benefit do they get from my coaching? So that kind of goes along with your reader that put that in, right? Am I coaching sellers, telling them the truth even when they don't want to hear it because I'm a professional?
Right.
Buyers, support when their normal negativity, bias, and monkey mind comes up. Right? We're coaching our real estate attorneys and our lenders and our vendors and the co-op agents, right? We're coaching them with professionalism and as an example of how we can do this business better with ease and with grace. And we may be coaching our database of past clients and sphere or center of influence, not just on the statistics from the real estate market, but what they mean in the big picture from the perspective of a professional coach.
Well, I mean, you look at all 5 of those. If I don't successfully sell that seller's house, I didn't coach him the right way, or he wasn't listening to my coaching with the pricing the property properly or staging the property properly. And then the ones that do, they were coached correctly from me and they listened. And I'm the only victim of my own circumstance when I didn't listen to your advice sometimes. And if you would have done what I said, this would have worked. History repeats itself. Why do I keep taking an overpriced listing, or why do I, keep writing that same offer for the buyer who won't listen to me because there's multiple offer situations and they love that USAA lender, or that takes 60 days to close, whatever it is. They don't follow the advice. So you've got to listen to the person who's giving you the guidance, and you can call a coach a guidance, anything.
Right. And people do, Todd, I'm glad you brought that up, because people have to accept coaching.
Yep.
And if you're not willing to accept coaching, understand that's a decision and it's okay. But you want to decide, am I going to align myself with buyers and sellers and vendors that don't want coaching?
Right.
Right? So it's a mindset shift here.
Right.
And in thinking of it in these terms, it helps us to get more clear. Okay, so what I want to do right now is to just give you the overview of the 5 ways. I'm hoping they're all fitting here on the screen.
They're all in. We can see it clearly.
Great. And then we're going to go over each one of them, okay? Because what this whole time is about is increasing profitability with the coaching you give or get, all right? So the first thing we're going to cover is understanding profit clearly. Do you know what we're talking about? Because it seems to be a fuzzy subject. Number 2 is focus. Number 3 is clarity. Number 4 is making a decision, get in or get out. We'll get there. And number 5 is just choosing one coach if you're hiring a coach for yourself. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So let's look at number 1. The number 1 way to profit more from the coaching you get or give is to understand profit clearly. So what is profit? What is profit?
Cash flow.
Okay.
The money left over at the end of the day after you paid all your bills, paid your bonuses, paid everybody.
Great. So profit is the amount of gain left over after the cost is subtracted, right? And it's usually a measure of success in business, right? Because I could coach any of you guys to make $1 million and spend the whole million. But is that what anybody wants?
No. Been there, done that.
Exactly.
We made $1 million, but we've definitely spent $1 million.
You got it. So we have to be in business. Profit is the income remaining after total revenue and costs are deducted, and this is profit around the energy of money. But there are other profits as well. All right. So the first thing I want you to look at is where's your attention? Is it on cost or is it on profitability?
if you, my thoughts are, if you focus on profitability, you're not controlling the costs. And I've tried to say, if I can cut back, for example, Zillow from X thousands a month to down to X, I'm going to be that. No, it's, you got to figure out. My thought would be how can I scale a little bit more without spending more money? Increase price ranges, add a team member to increase the sales, things along that line.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we want to spend money on so we increase our profitability, right? What if we could train your brain to focus on profit all the time? Let's look at some examples of things that cost not only in money energy, but in other energies, because money is an energy you can get back. In other words, if I spent money, I'll give you a real life example. If I spent $200 a share on Zoom in February, and it's worth $500 a share today, it was an investment that profited, you see?
Right.
Right? But so money I could invest and get back. But if I invest other energies like time is gone after that. You see? Once time is spent, it's gone. It's what did I profit from it, right? So when we talk about energy costs and profit, as you know, Todd, you've been in our coaching a while, there are 6 energies: time, money, enjoyment, relationship, physical vitality, and creativity. Those are the 6 energies that take us from what we want, our visions, and into our physical reality. And there's actually like a border between visionary reality and physical reality. These are the energies that take us across the border and get those dreams into physical reality. So let's look at a few things. A new lead generation auto system. Is there a cost for it?
Of course.
What are the energies that we're going to use for that? Well, we're probably going to use time. What else?
Phone.
Money.
You're going to have, and if you get buyers from it, you're going to have showing profit. You're going to be listing appointments.
A relationship, physical vitality. We're actually using all 6 energies there. And then we have to look at what is the profit. So if I'm going to invest all 6 energies, I want to look at what the profit is. Okay. Exercise, health. Is there a cost? You bet. Is there a profit? Business planning, time. Is there a cost? The cost is in time, right? What is the profit? Pricing a property too high or low. Is there a cost? What's the profit? We've got to be thinking in terms of cost profit. Getting educated. Vacation, downtime. Is there a cost? Sure, but there's a profit as well. Okay, creating systems takes a lot of time and energy and effort, right?
Right.
But then we have a profit in time, energy, and effort on the other side. So coaching, the same thing. There's a cost, but what is the profit? So this is what this workshop is all about. No matter who is coaching you, or if you have no coach at all, it's designed to train your brain to focus on the profit, looking at cost and profit and making good decisions. Okay. So here's a couple of ideas about how to profit from all 6 energies. If we were to profit from the energy of time that we spend on purpose instead of time that seems to be spending you. Okay, that might be around time management, right? You know, I have that trademark for do it, move it, or delete it. That time management system I use. Profiting from the energy of your physical vitality instead of feeling drained or ill. Profiting from the energy of our relationships that expand in so many profitable ways. How many of you guys have done more than 3 transactions from one person? Me? Anybody else? I don't know how many people.
Very profitable situation.
All right. And how many have had more than 4 transactions from one single person, or 5 or 6 or 10? Okay. With that, relationships, the right relationships can profit us dramatically if we'll look for it. Right? If we'll focus on that profit, profiting joyously from the energy of enjoyment, joyously, instead of as something we don't deserve. It's the difference between having a little tiny cup of ice cream and really savoring every single bite versus eating the triple-decker ice cream cone and just kind of shove it in your face and you don't even remember eating it afterwards.
Right.
You see? Right? So we want to profit joyously from enjoyment. Creativity. We want to use our creativity in coherent versus incoherent ways. Coherent is doing something that creates something out of our creativity. Like cheating on our taxes might be an incoherent way of using our creativity, right?
It's profitable.
But we want to do it in coherent ways, not incoherent ways. And finally, profiting, from the energy of money, investing your money into your dreams and having them spending it so that it turns into other real money we can spend and save for the rest of our lives. So there's just a couple of ideas. So get an assistant, someone wrote. That's a cost money that's going to save you. Yes. Hiring leverage. Absolutely. Yep. Yes. So profit requires that we have success. And Todd, you remember the definition of success, right?
I'm going to let you answer that, but yes.
Because if you're successful, you're profiting in some way, right?
Yes.
And yet too many of us don't know when we have success because we never defined it.
Right.
Right? So if you want to know if you're successful, then follow this definition by Dr. Maria Niemann. Success is doing what you said you would do consistently. What you said you would do with clarity, focus, ease, and grace.
Yep.
Your success is 100% determined by what you're willing to do, that you'll do it consistently with clarity of purpose, with focus despite the distractions, and with ease. It doesn't mean it's easy. We can do hard work with ease. It means we're not doing it with angst. Okay. And doing it with a sense of gratitude for the opportunity. So if you were, for example, to say, I am willing to read the definition of success out loud, and you say you will do it, and then you do it, then you're successful. So I'm going to throw it back up on the screen, and wherever you are, just read it. Read it out loud. Success is
doing what you said you would do do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace.
Ta-da! You experience success.
Agents that I know that are being successful right now didn't stop in COVID. They kept doing their thing. They shifted or pivoted their call, the way they were making their calls or the way they were getting in touch with their clients. But where are they at now? 10 times more successful than the guys who said, oh my God, COVID's coming. We've got to stop. You've got to pivot, shift, whatever the word you want to use.
By focusing, what they're doing is they focused on what they can do versus focusing on what they can't do.
Yep.
It's like focusing on cost versus focusing on profit. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to put our focus on profit. We want to put our focus on what is it we can do.
Right.
Okay. One of my great agents broke his foot this year. There was a lot he couldn't do while he had surgery and had to sit on his butt.
Right.
But there was a lot he could do. And where did he put his focus? On what he could do. Right?
Bring anything. Yeah, you got
to. Yeah. So profit from clarity comes from saying out loud those actions we create to support our purpose rather than just random action, whatever comes up today. This starts with being clear about who we really are and what's important with our lives. And we create this envisional reality using our life's intentions inventory. With profit from focus comes from taking those actions to the exclusion of the other distractions, right? Because physical reality is full of unpredictability. But when we stay focused, nevertheless, nothing gets in the way for long, and we keep coming back to the action we committed to taking. Profit from ease comes from seeing progress along with the normal dance of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We all know what happens. Sometimes we have 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. Then we have 7 steps forward and 1 step back, right? It's the journey. It's never a straight wind. It's always winding, and it loops upon itself from time to time. But begin being with that journey and training our brain to see it with ease as normal versus angst or struggle. And all the time we're moving back toward the path of our journey, and being aware of and grateful for the blessings invites the profit from grace. So you want to take a look at in this number 1, what is it that I personally want to profit in most? Right? What is it? Is it time, money, physical vitality, enjoyment, relationship, or creativity? And so that's an answer for people to look at. Okay.
Talk about mine for a second. Where I profited was time, because I leveraged support. And so therefore we have 2 assistants or support team that help allow me to have more time with the family, more time to focus on higher dollar activities, etc.
Yeah,
So,
and we recommend if you are on track for 24 transactions a year, you need to hire someone.
yep.
When you get on track for over 50, you need to hire a second one.
Yep.
And this is only if you want to grow. If you want to stay where you are, then don't do it. But if you're saying I'm at 50, I want to get to 100, at 50 is where you hire the second one. And we go into a whole lot more, but we're off the. So the number one way of coaching can increase your profitability is being focused on the profitability in your coaching, and knowing what we focus on more is what we get, right? We're constantly being coached. So let's move on to number 2. Focus. Coaching allows you to focus. If you keep changing the outcome, your coach is going to support you, but it's possible you never complete anything, right? So when you decide to focus on profit and you hire someone to support you, a great coach will support you and constantly remind you that this is what you wanted to do. I can't tell you how many times on a coaching call I say to someone, did your goal change? Last week you said you wanted to do this. Is it something you still want to do? Right? And so a coach is going to help bring that focus back to you. And this increases your profitability and save time. So what is the cost in terms of energy, and what's the cost and what is the profit, right? So you guys know we've got to decide if the profit is worth the cost. So example, when some people will buy 1,000 leads a month or 100 leads a month, and they have no time to actually service any leads because they're following up on 100 leads that they can't possibly service. Right. And so the cost is not how much of the leads cost. The cost is how much time it took to poorly manage these leads. You see?
Right.
So we've got to be looking at, is the profit worth the cost? And we've got to make a decision and decide defined. Just what the definition of decide. The DE means to separate, and the CIDE means to kill off, like homicide, pesticide, suicide. To kill off. To decide means to kill off all other options. To separate and kill off all other options. And we make decisions based on the answer to these 2 questions: what is the cost in energy, and what is the profit I'm going to get? We can make a decision with clarity. So I thought you might enjoy this little cartoon. Can you see it?
What are you doing, son? With all the manure, there must be a pony in here somewhere.
Okay. Is that what we see, right? Is that what we see? This is a kid focusing on the profit. Yes, I've got to shovel a lot of pony poop, right? The pony is the profit conclusion he's focusing on in every scoop of poop, and he's gathering evidence with every scoop. There's one in here somewhere, right? So why is focus so important? Where we put our focus is literally what we see, despite what else might be going on. So I've got a 1-minute video here I'd love to show. Can I show it? All right,
yep,
I'm going to show it.
I'm not able to hear it, but we can definitely see.
All right, so I hope you guys can see this, and this is a selective intention test, okay? So I want you to count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. So watch the players wearing white. It's just a few seconds. How many times are the players in white catching the basketball? So don't count the people doing black, just the people who are wearing white. It's only a few more seconds. Are you counting? Counting. Almost done. And complete. How many passes did you count? Anybody count the passes?
I was going to say 15. There you go.
Yep, 15 is the correct answer. But did you see the gorilla?
The very end as he was walking away.
Okay.
He's walking through. Yep.
Most of us don't see the gorilla when we do this exercise unless you've seen it before. You're looking for it. The gorilla was there all the time. Okay? Do you have the ability to truly focus on what you want? All right? And that's just an example of how easy it is to only to screen out everything else. All right? So number 3, the way to profit more from your coaching is clarity. Okay, we've got to get as clear as you can with your coach to create specific actions to take. You want to define that outcome that you want. If you are with a coach and you don't have a clear outcome, you're not going to be very profitable. Okay. I remember, Todd, when you and I first started, you had a clear outcome, and that outcome was I don't know if we can share this, but you paid a certain amount of money for your database.
Go for it. Yeah, definitely.
So Todd paid $150,000 for his database, and his clear outcome was in year 1, he wanted to make at least that back.
Yep.
And then in year 2, he wanted to make it back. And in year 3, he wanted to make it back so that he would triple his investment, right?
Yep.
Within 3 years. So that was a clear outcome. Once you've determined what it is you want, now we can create a plan. Not all the actions from the plan, but we can create a plan.
I didn't know part of the plan was still profiting from it today, but it's definitely still working.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is, because when we buy somebody's good database and work it properly, it will pay us many times over.
Yeah.
Which is why we say one of our goals is to work with people. We want to work with people who want to grow, change, or prepare to sell their business. You are in the stage of I want to grow.
Yep.
Right? I've worked with other coaching clients who want to change. In other words, I'm doing 50 a year. I want to go down to doing 20, and I don't want to lose any income. Teach me how to do that. Right? So other people, I want to prepare my database so that it's saleable and help me find somebody to buy it. Right? So fully vision what it is you want and the general result of completing it, and only then do you take the next step. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but in 1996 and 97, Mike and I decided we wanted to earn $1 million in 1 year. We made a decision. Okay? When we decided, we separated and killed off all other options. So we sat down and worked out what it would take. We didn't work on the actions. We just told the truth about where we were and where we wanted to be. And then we calculated our moving our average sales price up, our average commission a little higher, how we could increase our income per closing with a transaction fee, what sort of staffing we would need, right? What our closing ratios would have to improve by, how many closings it would take. I mean, you can see we got very detailed, and we thought it would take 5 years. Once we had the plan in place, we thought it would take 5 years. We actually almost got there in just 2 years. These are our actual numbers. Okay. Nice. We got there in almost 2 years. We made these plans here, and by here we were at 964,000 in a terrible real estate market, by the way.
Right.
And we got over the million the next year. Okay. So it really just took us 3 years to get there. All right. So it starts by being willing to put a plan into place. So here's a little extra tip. Coaching doesn't occur unless actions are taken. Okay. You want to get 100% clear on your sessions with your coach. What are the tasks to be done? We often label them actions. And what's the one most authentic action you're going to take before the next time we meet?
And that's what you outlined every time we spoke.
Every time.
What needs to happen the following week. And sometimes I'll admit I would wake up. I would probably wake up nervous and like, crap, I got to call at 9 o'clock. I got to get this stuff done. But if you take every little day and do baby steps to get it done, you can go to that call.
You know, and Todd, there's no guilt in the coaching that we do. Okay. You either do it or you don't do it. It's just a fact. And then the question is, do you still want to do it? Great. Right. Then where are we going to fit it in your schedule?
You ask that multiple times.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's normal. Right. Yeah. When I plan, I want you guys to know clearly when I plan my day, the way it looks at the end of the day and the way it started at the beginning of the day is almost never the same. Almost never, because we live in physical reality. So stop beating yourself up for being in physical reality. Okay. We also want to be focusing on the results versus I will exercise for 5 minutes versus do 15 push-ups. Which one is a result?
I think the 5 minutes, you're timing yourself, but I could stop down and do 15 in a couple of minutes versus doing the 5.
Okay. But 5 minutes, I could lay there and do nothing.
True. Okay.
The result is 15 push-ups.
Yeah.
I will talk to 5 people or I'll dial the 25 numbers. Which of those are results? The results I'm looking for is to talk to 5 people.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to, no matter how much time it takes, what is the result I'm looking for?
Right.
All right. And I know that's backwards from what a lot of people have heard. You want to get support in taking your action. And it doesn't have to be with a coach. It can be with somebody else. Pay your kid to support you. Take authentic action, no matter what it takes. If it takes an all-nighter, do it. If it takes all weekend, do it. Don't wait for inspiration. Simply do what you said you would do, period. And then celebrate the smallest of the steps forward. When we have some celebration, it causes us to want to move forward. So that's just a little tip here in the middle. Now, what does it really work like when we create an idea for a goal and the goal's over here? So you guys have all seen this before. What does it really look like? Because we would like it to look like this, right?
Yeah.
How do I close this back up? Okay. We'd like it to go straight across, right? And what does it really look like? It really, when we're really good, especially in the beginning, it looks like this. And then we get a little haughty and maybe we go around here and then, oh, I'm back on track. I'm back on track. Oh, I got to back up just a little bit because I got off. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But what we want to avoid is this. That's what we want to avoid, getting way off track and back on for a second. We just want to get as close to the line as we can until we get there, right? And that's reality. That's reality. So what you want to make sure that you do is don't set up unrealistic expectations, and a coach is going to help you not to do that. So what are a couple of authentic actions you could take in your business? You could make a minimum of 2 quality contacts a day with people you don't know. You could 100% lead follow-up every day before I go looking for anybody else. Boy, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to go looking for somebody new instead of going after what they have. I got to remember how to get rid of this. Every time there we go. I can't ever get rid of the drawing thing. All right. Write down the system I want to complete 100% from start to finish. Write down one minimum standard. Okay. Just keep it small. So number 4, way to profit more from coaching, get in or get out, make a decision. Okay. Be truly willing to accept coaching and immerse yourself in it. And I'm not just talking about with me, with anybody. Or equally as okay, recognize and decide, separate and kill off all other options, that you're truly not ready for change. And either way, you win. Don't get in coaching and you aren't really committed to doing it.
Right.
Okay. So because you're going to spend money, you see, coaching's not going to be profitable if I get in and I am not willing to immerse myself.
When you
right?
think about what you're spending on the coaching, and
it's ridiculous.
We're supporting you, which is great, but at the same time, I'm just wasting money because I'm not doing what you asked me to do. If you want me to, if I want to be successful, the way we've set up in the plan of the original calls.
Correct. And if you're willing, coaching with the right coach is very profitable. If you're not willing, you're going to find struggle without any hope of ease.
Right.
So I have a little tool here that I may share in a second, but you want to ask yourself some questions. If you want to screenshot this, I don't want to go through the whole thing, but am I willing to vision with my coach about getting clear about why I'm here at this point in my life? Am I willing to commit to authentic action? Am I willing to create some ease by taking small steps, getting support, focusing on the result, not the effort, and celebrating each step? Am I willing to look at what I'm doing or not doing? Am I willing to see what's in it for me, even if I don't want to? See what's not in it for me, see what there is for me to see. Am I willing to tell the truth about the facts of the matter without thoughts, beliefs, or opinions getting in the way to see clearly? Am I willing to take and create the next authentic action? And am I willing to be committed? So those are questions for you to think about. So one of the tools we use is called the 4 boxes. And it works with a conclusion that we gather evidence for, which is how we behave, and how others behave around us is a reflection, which then reinforces our conclusion. And in the 4-box model, it's a little bit about how the brain works. And I know we're short on time, Todd, so I'm not going to go through all of this, but I do have a presentation on the 4-box model.
Okay.
Because the bad news is we can't change our conclusions, but there is good news. And the good news is that we can be willing to form a new conclusion to become more interested in, so that old conclusion sort of fades into the background. Okay, so if you are interested in seeing the 20-minute presentation on this, let me know. So I'm going to skip through there. I'm going to introduce you to a few coaching clients, and their names have been changed, but these are two real people. John Doe entered the business, first year in the business. Following year was a full calendar year and became Rookie of the Year out of over 100 agents in his office. Fast forward 7 years later, he will be over 100 sales in 2020 with ease after building to 90 in 2019. Okay. Here's Mary James, was in the business 4 years before hiring a coach, felt she couldn't do any more than 20 or 24 a week. She was working 7 days a week, no life. After year one, she doubled her business and took a vacation, and she built a team that does 100 to 140 closings a year regularly, and she takes a lot of vacations. Todd, how many vacations do you take a year?
This year, not as many, but we're usually going about 5 to 6 times a year, sometimes more depending on company trips.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I include all your trips, I think on average 1 year we figured out you had 12. And yet you were doing a phenomenal business. And that's what can happen if you're doing this with clarity and focus.
Yep.
So I'm going to skip about the box one and let's go to profitable number 5. Okay. Choose one coach, accept as much as you can afford in the 6 energies with that coach, because trying to follow more than one at a time reduces your focus, which reduces your profitability. Okay. So here's my shameless plug. Okay. Become willing, be daring, take a risk, commit to something. Check out coaching by talking to actual coaching clients in it. I see on the Facebook page several people that I have coached before. Angela McCurdy is there. Christine Sparks is there. Don Sprinkle is there. We've got a couple of people who are saying hello. Talk to some clients that have actually been in it. And if you have a coach, talk to 3 more of their clients. What could you see that you're not seeing now? So I'm saying if you've got a coach and you're not sure you're getting everything, talk to some of the other clients. What are they getting that you're missing? Ask your peer group, because there may be more there for you to see with the coach you're getting. And it is okay to start for free. If you're not able to join a coach right now financially, and I'd really have you look at, can you do that or not? It is okay to start with free. For us, we give away now, we used to charge for, we give away Monday News you can use in our Lead a Day Club, which you can find under coaching plans at yourcoachingmatters.com. And you can join our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/coaching-matters. That's our public page for real estate agents, not our private one for our coaching clients. And schedule time to work on those 3 things, the Facebook page, the Lead a Day Club, the Monday News you can use. These are free. And when you know, take a risk, move up. For that, it could mean joining group coaching, which is under $100 a month. And you can get that at yourcoachingmatters.com/GCM. That's the group coaching matters. So that's under $100 a month for 3 group calls. And you get our patented numbers tracker as well for that. So it's a real deal. And if you're going to give coaching, you want to offer levels too. So if you're going to give coaching to your staff, to your clients, let's just talk about a lead. Let's just meet, no cost, obligation, no pressure. Okay. Well, that's like asking them for a coffee date instead of getting engaged. Come in, I'd like to sign a contract.
Right.
Would you allow me to blank next now that we know each other, and now may I interview for the job? Okay. So those are 3 different levels of coaching offerings for a perhaps new cold lead. It works the same way there. Make sure you're offering levels too. So we had another tool about conclusions and lenses, but I think we're probably out of time. Is that right?
Yeah, we got a few minutes. We're almost up on the hour, so you got a few minutes, so go ahead and dive into that.
Okay, great. I will do that. So
yeah, the red lens, green lens will be great.
Yeah, the red lens, green lens. And again, I have like a 20-minute presentation on this, so this is just going to be in a few minutes. But conclusions are like lenses. Okay, you see the dog with the lens. A colored lens filters out everything but that color. And what happens with the green lens is, this is what I know about you and about what you could choose to know about others. All right. This is a way that empowers people. Maria Nemeth says the key to supporting others is not so much what we do or what we say, but how we see others as we interact with them. And so this tool is about how we interact with others to empower them. Because when we're under stress or facing a new challenge, like selling a house or buying a house, right? Our brains naturally filter for danger before anything else. And we have two lenses that we can choose from, the red and the green. I'm going to go over red real quick, and you may recognize yourself seeing people through the red lens, but don't worry, we're going to go right to the green lens. So with the red lens, we may be looking at others with, there's something wrong with this person. How many of us have thought that about a buyer, seller, vendor, co-op agent, closing attorney, termite inspector, right? They do not have their own answers, and I have their answers, and it's my job to fix them. It's my job to show them. Their commitment and motivation is questionable, and they're a drain on me. Anybody recognize seeing people through the red lens? Now notice, if we see people through the red lens, how are they going to behave? Or how are we going to see them behaving?
Not in a positive manner that'll be
we will see them as something wrong, right? The behavior we will see is wrong. They don't have answers. I've got to fix them. They're a drain, etc., right? But if we used a green lens, if we were to use a green lens and look at people with this, and feel free to screenshot this, because this is something you want to make a little card and put it stuck to the front of your computer to remind yourself all the time. This is a person who's a hero, whole and complete. This is a person with goals and dreams and a desire to make a difference. This person has their own answers. This person is contributing to me right now. I'll give you an example of that one in a second. This person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Okay? If we're to use a green lens and looking at people, how do they behave? It goes back to the 4 boxes that we skipped over. But how do they behave when we see them like this?
Well, I think if you communicate at them correctly, and even though they're coming back at you with an attitude, you go back to them as gentle and kind, the rest of the transaction is going to go through smooth, and they're going to change their attitude because they know you're not going to bow down to their, ways.
Well, what it does is it allows them to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
It allows them to be the best that they can be. So I had a client once who said, I'm trying to sell this house. I have the buyer, and I do not see how the seller is contributing to me right now. And I don't see how this other agent is contributing to me right now. And my point was, they listed a property and have a property for sale that you get to work on. Is that a contribution?
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes we have to look. It's like the guy digging in the poop for the pony. Sometimes we have to look for how the contribution is occurring. But if we can see it, does it cause us to behave in a different way around that person? You see? That is the secret, and I can go into that forever. So you want to be able to practice with the green lens. You want to practice it. And if you're willing to discuss this with a professional coach, you can apply to see if you qualify for a free call at bit.ly/applyYCM. I think Todd has it on the screen.
Got on the banner down below.
Yep. Our paid services range from $49 a month to $997 a month, currently at the top level. That top is going to increase to about double that next year. And we personally invest at least 10% of our own income on coaching and training for ourselves. It's something you may want to look at. So if you even invested 5% of your earnings on you and your education and your training and your coaching, add up how much that would be. If it's worth it, is it worth it if you profited at 4 times the investment? So really think about it. Am I willing to accept coaching in my life? Am I willing to accept it for free with the 3 free things we offer? Am I willing to accept it at group coaching level, which is currently only $49 a month? It's going to go up next year. Okay. Because it's just so valuable. It's so valuable. And we want people who are really committed to being in it. And I'm finding too many people are getting in and getting out not really committed at the 49. So we're going to be raising that price. In closing, how to know if your coaching is profitable. Do the coaching sessions support actions being taken that make you more in income than costs? Does the coaching result in an overall profit increase, even if the total income did not? I remember, Todd, us going through your costs a couple of times.
Yes.
And eliminating more than my coaching costs.
Yep.
Just that exercise can make your coaching profitable. If we're creating more ease, is that a profitable trade for the cost of coaching? If you've got more time off to enjoy your other life's intentions, if you're having better control of your systems that create more income and profit and ease, if you've got someone to bounce ideas off of that helps avoid or eliminate quickly costly mistakes, more gets accomplished with less effort. Coaching results in introductions, and we talked about this at the beginning, okay? Introductions that cause more profitability and make your life better. And that's like prepping your business cell or connecting you with your quality peer group, right? So which of these, as we close today, are you most interested in working on? All right. Is it profiting from actions that make more income than you spend? Write them down. Write them down if this is one, or take a screenshot and circle them. Number 2, overall profit increase, even if income didn't. I have more at the end of the year. Maybe you're making enough money, you're just not keeping enough.
Right.
Okay? Am I more interested in that? Is it more ease that is a profitable trade-off over the cost of coaching? Just creating some ease in my life rather than all this angst. Most people who come to me to coach come because they're in angst. All right. More time off to enjoy your other life's intentions. Having better control of systems that create more income, profit, and ease. Someone to bounce ideas off that help avoid or eliminate quickly costly mistakes. More income or profit with less effort. Yes, it is possible. Profitable introductions. Which of these things are you most interested in working on? And did anyone think of something else? What is it that you would be interested in working on in coaching?
I think we worked on all of that through the time, and there's quick answers to all of it. It's more income with profit, less effort. It's called raise your price range by 10%. Hire a support team to support you so you can go enjoy more time off with life's intentions, things along that line.
Absolutely. And Todd, realize, for those of you listening, Todd and I have worked together on and off for 9 years. And so, yes, he's done all of these right over time.
Right.
And again, my average coaching clients have been with me over 7 years, some as long as 13 years. So understand, we work a lot with people in very in-depth areas, and also things change for people. I've worked with people who wanted to get up to 100 transactions, and then they want to get back down to 24. Okay? Because they're at a place where I want to be living more of the life I enjoy than working so much. Right? We've worked with people to build their individual business up to 100 transactions. And now I want to give back. I want to hire a team. I want to get some agents that I can help support. So it's less about how much I'm making, and it's more about how many people I can support and just take enough to live on. All right. So there's no one answer, but look at what it is that you are looking for. And if you've got a great coach, stick with them. Absolutely stick with the great coach that you have. Maybe look at some of these items and see how you could be profiting more in your coaching relationship. If you don't have a coach or you're not happy, we would love to have you fill out the application for an interview.
So I want to, in closing, everybody, if you have not looked at their site, definitely check it out. I mean, she's got a lot of stuff that she's done for me over the last 9 or 10 years that we worked together, and I've left and have come back because of the value that we had gotten. Thought, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Actually, you can put it that way. So we've got gained a lot of value and a lot of friendships, and you're good friends with Mike and Donna now. And you kind of talked about, like, one of them is bouncing ideas off of others. We've aligned ourselves through connections we've made working with you, with like Connie and a lot of the Bob group, call it the best of the best, for what you call it. And it's people that are at a higher level than us. And so it allowed us to do it across the country, which then also created referral partnerships. What happens with referrals? You create cash flow. With that cash flow, pays for coaching, pays for the trip to go see them. And so, the intimate when you do your masterminds, there's maybe 30 people there, but you do a 1 or 2 day event beforehand, which is what, 5 to 8 of us. So we can get a little bit more in depth, like-minded people with the same business setup that are trying to do the same thing. We can all bounce things off of each other. So that's that kind of masterminding, I think, has been the most invaluable thing I've gotten from any sessions I've been in. And then the friendships, and again, 8-9 years we've been friends with some of these guys. We look forward to seeing people in Vegas that are you're one state away, or county in Maryland. It's like, cool, we're going to connect at all these different events that we see each other 3, 4, 5 times a year. So if you haven't done coaching, definitely check out the program. They were a big impact in my life and my business and grew me to where I am today and growing further. So guys, I appreciate you being here. Don, any other words you want to throw out there?
I just want to thank you so much for having me. I know that you've got a great group of people here on Agents That Win, and you're doing incredible things, Todd. And you guys are so fortunate to have Todd to be working with and his team. They're amazing, fantastic, and I highly encourage you to get in more conversation with him, especially if you're local there in his area. Have a conversation with him. Take him to lunch. Take him to brunch. Find a way to sit and pick his brain, because he is one brilliant guy and you're so lucky to have him. So thank you for having me today.
Appreciate it, Donna. And check them out on Facebook, guys, because a lot of the content they drop on there is awesome on their Coaching Matters page. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, please do. Follow us on Instagram. And again, you're seeing this because you're following us on Facebook. Invite your friends. Let's grow this page. Let's give back. Let's contribute. Let's collaborate. Like I said, if you guys have anything, please reach out to me directly, because I'd be happy to give some advice real quick as far as, even on those items there, just to talk about what it's done for us, etc. So, Donna, again, thank you for being here. Everyone, thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.